I'm Nintendo.
And I'm Sega. This is Console Wars! And until this policy changes, I will not attend a Chuck E. Cheese again. Send. That ought to learn him. So, what are we doing for Christmas this year?
I don't know. Wait, aren't we throwing a Christmas party this year?
You are? I totally forgot. When was that again?
Let me just check Facebook and see if we have any events and... Oh, it's tonight.
Oh, tonight. Tonight? What are we gonna do? We don't have any food, or decorations, or anything really.
We got booze.
Well, we always have booze.
We like to party.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
But what are we gonna do about everything else? People are gonna be over soon.
If only someone was around to help us.
Come in. Well, I was just outside in the bushes, the sidewalk, and I overheard that you guys need help for the party. Oh, good lord. Oh, don't worry. We're excellent party planners. We will take care of everything.
We? Oh, you mean the blue guy?
The blue guy? Oh, he couldn't make it. Something about returning videotapes? But don't worry, I brought someone that could help. Come on in, brother.
Brother?
Hey there, brother! So this is the place to hang out all this time. It looks fantastic!
Oh, it's pretty freaking sweet. Oh no.
Now there's two pastrami's.
No. I'm Pastrami,
And I'm Salami!
and together we are the Bash Brothers! Huh. Yeah, we totally stole that from Mighty Ducks too. So, how can you guys help? We brought lots of Christmas decorations. We have Christmas thongs.
Christmas body oils? Who wants to feel the holiday cheer? I know I do!
That's not Christmas stuff.
Those are just things you always bring.
You got me there. Huh, he's a smart one.
We do have actual Christmas decorations in the car.
Well, that's great.
All I need is a good Christmas flick while we decorate.
Oh, I got one. Oh no. I seem to have lost my copy of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Salami, you got a copy in the car?
No, all I have is Mankini Halloween, Mankini Thanksgiving, Mankini Thanksgiving 2, hold the stuffing, my Batman box set, Mankini Easter.
Wait, Batman box set? If you have Batman Returns, we can watch that.
Yeah, that totally takes place during Christmas.
That just reminded me of the video game.
Yeah, that was such a fun action platformer for Sega Genesis.
What are you talking about? It was a beat 'em up for the Super Nintendo.
A beat 'em up Batman? That sounds terrible.
I'm sure it's worse for Sega as a generic platformer.
Oh, that's it. We're doing this.
Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo?
Versus Batman Returns for the Sega Genesis.
Batman Returns is Tim Burton's follow-up to his '89 Batman. While not as commercially successful, it still got relatively positive reviews. Much better than some other flicks. Seriously? Die Hard with a Vengeance is this low? Still, Batman Returns was successful enough, paving the way for more sequels, the animated series, toys, there was a Robin toy, and of course, video games.
There were a lot of Batman Returns games. Konami developed the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. Sega published all the Genesis, Master System, Sega CD, and Game Gear games. There were even games for DOS and the Atari Lynx. The ones we're looking at today were the ones for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Two very different games. Which one's better? Let's find out.
The Sega Genesis game looks just like the movie.
You got the bat, the cat, and the penguin. Lots of enemies you fight look like their movie counterparts too. And the levels are based on locations from the movie. This game totally encompasses Batman Returns.
It doesn't look as good as the Super Nintendo.
Batman, Catwoman, and Penguin all look just like they did in the movie. All of my enemies look sweet too. And all of my levels are places from the film.
But I think it's pretty obvious the Super Nintendo is a better looking game.
The characters are all bigger in Super Nintendo. It's no contest really. Plus my game is much brighter. Makes it easier to see the big sprites. It's so hard to see the dark and tiny Sega characters.
You like your Batman tiny and dark or big and bright.
I like the big one.
Yeah, you can see his manly muscles.
Yeah, too bad they don't let us see his biggest muscle. If, you know what I mean.
Really?
What? I was talking about his brain. Batman's super freaking smart.
Yeah, like when he figured out Henry Ducard was really Ra's al Ghul before it was too late.
No. You mean when he figured out that Miranda Tate was Talia al Ghul before it was too late?
He wasn't really smart in the Nolan movies.
No, he was not.
Bigger characters aside, my levels look better too.
All the levels in my game come straight from the movie. The streets of Gotham, the roofs of Gotham, Penguin's various hideouts, you name it. The Sega game has some odd choices for levels. A carnival, the circus, a zoo? And is this building falling apart or is this some artistic thing? Also, look how lazy this background is. And this church, I'm pretty sure it's the church from the first Batman movie. I've also got destructible environments for a nice added touch. Sega don't.
So, I have things from the movie that you don't.
The Sega game has sewer levels. Seeing how that's where the Penguin spends most of his time in the movie, you think the Super Nintendo would have one level there. But nope, not a one. Also, I've got Penguin in his Jam Jams just like the movie. Something the Super Nintendo doesn't have.
Okay, your penguin has some cool pajamas, but your enemies look weird.
Look at this gargoyle. I'm pretty sure this is from the first movie also. And then you have this guy. Yeah. Plus, Super Nintendo has Gotham citizens fleeing in terror, making this look more like a real place. And of course, I have this level with Mode 7, something the Sega game doesn't have. There's no denying my game looks better, for having bigger, brighter, and more detailed characters from the movie, more levels from the movie, and Mode 7. Best graphics go to Super Nintendo.
The presentation on Genesis is pretty sweet.
The game opens with a cutscene right away, and the game ends with you fighting during the credits and has two different endings depending on if you win against Catwoman. The title card for each level looks sweet, with the Bat Signal, Batmobile, and Batman. And when you change your weapon, the menu you select from is your utility belt. How cool is that?
That's nice, but this game is based on a movie, and you're completely missing cutscenes. My game, on the other hand, is loaded with them.
Just check out the cutscenes in my game. It's loaded with images from the movie. The game opens with them, and you see lots of them between levels. And it's not just pictures, but dialogue from the movie too. Not just with stills, but for in-game cutscenes. This game truly captures the feel of the movie.
More images from the movie makes my presentation better.
Wait a minute. There's something wrong. Your game doesn't have any of the bat nipples.
I think you're confused. Everyone knows bat nips weren't introduced to Batman Forever.
No, that's not the movie I'm thinking of. Batman and Robin had bat nips. No, that's not the one I'm thinking about either.
Oh, I know. You're thinking of Mankini Batman, The Dark Dawn Returns.
That's it! We should totally watch that later.
Can you believe these guys? Dude,
What? I'm not writing it down and saving it for later.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, well, anyways, your presentation is flawed.
As good as it is to see stills from the movie, unless you've seen Batman Returns, there's no way you can actually follow the plot. It's too scattered. Also, you have pictures everywhere except for your ending. It's just text scrolling by. Where's your fancy pictures now?
Okay, my presentation isn't perfect, but it's much better than yours.
Let's talk transitions. When you transition between stages on Super Nintendo, you get the bat symbol. On Genesis, the screen just turns black. But let's talk about the movie. I have lots of moments from the movie during gameplay. Batman taking out the wall behind his clown, the Red Circus Gang coming out of the big present, penguins in the background and foreground firing missiles. It's little touches like these that really put my game over the top. With cutscenes from the movie and movie moments during gameplay, best presentation goes to Super Nintendo.
The music on Genesis is some sweet originals. Listen to these tracks.
It's all original music that grows on you. It's got that old school grittiness. It's that classic Genesis sound you love.
Right, but my music is from the movie.
This game's music comes right out of the movie. The music mixed with those cutscenes really makes you feel like you're watching the movie. Even the originals sound like they belong in the film.
Oh, but that's boring. Give me solid original tracks any day.
These games are based on the movie. They should sound like the movie.
Wait a second. Both your games are missing the Christmas song from the movie. What Christmas song from the movie? The song? Do I gotta sing it? Hey frickin' hey, happy holidays. Hey frickin' ho, have a beer. Hey frickin' hey, ho frickin' ho. Hey frickin' ho, happy holidays.
That's definitely not in the movie.
Yeah, that's the song from the Christmas movie we love.
What is it now? Mankini Christmas, Jingle My Bells?
No. Jingle My Bells was the sequel. The movie I'm talking about is our homemade Christmas movie.
Oh, that's right. Hey, that's not Batman. That's not Batman at all. My bad. Carry on.
Alright, looks like we're not going to agree on music. Let's talk about sound effects.
On Genesis, when you defeat an enemy, for some reason they sound like a robot. Odd choice. And the punches aren't as good as Super Nintendo's. Also, whenever you slam an enemy on Super Nintendo, the sound effect is so satisfying. Even though the Genesis music is good, it's not better than the music from the movie, or the solid Super Nintendo sound effects. Best sound goes to Super Nintendo.
Gameplay in Genesis is excellent.
It's a 2D side-scrolling action platformer. You have one button to jump, one to attack, and one to throw a limited weapon. So this game is fine with a 6 or 3 button controller. You can also glide for a limited time and use the grappling hook when standing or jumping. The weapons you have are Batarang, Smoke Pellet to stun, a swarm of bats, the grappling gun is a weapon, and a heat-seeking Batarang, just like the movie. You fight your way through 5 levels taking out the bad guys. Solid gameplay all around.
My game's better.
Batman as a beat 'em up might seem odd, but it's incredibly fun. This game plays a lot like Final Fight. As Batman, you punch your way through wave after wave of enemy. You can punch, special attack, throw an unlimited number of batarangs, use a grappling hook for a kick attack, use a test tube to wipe out all enemies, and block. You can also grab an enemy and throw them, or grab 2 enemies and smash them together. Sound fun? Well, this is just part of the game. For variety, some of the levels play more like a 2D shooter, where you take out enemies with your batarang. It's a nice change of pace. If that wasn't enough, there's also a Batmobile stage for even more variety.
It's much more fun than your game.
But a beat 'em up doesn't have as much depth as a platformer.
That's a fancy way of saying your game's boring. My game's fun, like Final Fight.
You're right, and that's the first problem with your game.
This game does play like Final Fight in that it's only one player. One player beat 'em up? Talk about disappointing.
Did you even see the movie? Batman was the only hero. It wouldn't make sense if Robin or anyone else was a playable character.
Was he alone though? I remember Alfred helping him.
You think this game should have made Alfred playable?
I would love to play as Alfred. He should have his own game. Cleaning sheets, washing dishes, doing laundry, putting air fresheners in various outlets throughout Wayne Manor. I bet he uses Hawaiian Breeze. Alfred looks like a Hawaiian Breeze guy. Yeah, I'd love to play that game.
Anyways, a one-player beat 'em up is lame.
One player is just lame, and that's only one problem with your game. This game is slow. You can only have 3 enemies on screen at a time, so it takes a while to get through a level. Even longer since most of the time is spent waiting for enemies you knocked away to get back on screen. Then, there's your life. Using your special attack takes away life. That happens in games, so it's forgivable. But, if you use the grappling hook, it also takes away life. That seems incredibly unfair. It's a weak attack. Make it limited. Don't make it take away life. And the bosses. They're incredibly tough and take away a lot of life. That's okay though, since you can block, right? Well, blocking barely helps you out. You still lose a lot of life. You just don't fall down. Talk about a broken mechanic.
Then there's your shooter stages.
The levels play fine, but the camera's too zoomed in. They don't give you a lot of wiggle room to stay away from projectiles, and you can't see an enemy until they're right in front of you.
Want to talk about problems? Let's talk about your game.
Batman and Sega move slow. Very slow. Take using the grappling hook. To use it, you have to press up and C. Problem is, it doesn't happen right away. You have to wait for Batman to lift his head up, and then you can fire the grappling hook. Do it too early, and it doesn't work. This isn't fun during intense boss fights. Speaking of enemies, they move fast. You're gonna get hit. Always. No matter how careful you try to be, or how quickly you try to avoid an enemy, you're gonna get hit. By the time you see most enemies, it's too late. They've already hit you. And fighting enemies takes way too much effort. They don't go down easy. The jumping ones are the worst. They always get at least one hit in. Batman's too slow, enemies are too fast, and you'll always get hit. Talk about a game with problems.
Well, that's just some old school gaming. Your game's the one that's unfair.
Sure, the Sega game is difficult, but you get a lot of chances since my game has unlimited continues. The Super Nintendo game, on the other hand, only has 3. Talk about unfair.
Because your game is incredibly difficult.
In both games, every level is made up of multiple stages. When you use a continue on Super Nintendo, you start from the stage you died. When you use a continue on Sega, you start not from the stage you were in, but from the beginning of the level. And in a game as unforgiving as this, that's frustrating.
But your game's a beat 'em up. And my game plays like Batman for Nintendo. Something that you would appreciate.
Your game is almost like that, but it's just way too slow.
Batman moves slow. He attacks slow. He grapples slow. This is an incredibly slow moving game. This allows enemies to constantly hit you. The Batman Nintendo game had lots of good things going for it. And one thing it had was speed. Batman hustled. He didn't move like this. A Batman beat 'em up isn't the best way to use Batman in a video game, but it works and is actually fun. It's better than the slow adventures of Batman always getting hit. Give me a fun beat 'em up any day. Best gameplay goes to Super Nintendo.
Both games brought something different to the table, but one was better, and that game was Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo.
It has better graphics with bigger, brighter, and more detailed characters and levels. It has better presentation with more cutscenes from the movie and more moments from the movie in general. It has better sound with music from the movie and some very satisfying sound effects. It has better gameplay with a higher fun factor. The Super Nintendo game feels like a game based on the movie. The Sega game, not so much. The Sega game has some good things going for it, but it's incredibly flawed with how slow it is and constantly getting hit. Controls feel stiff and getting through levels is a chore. Best Batman Returns goes to Super Nintendo.
Maybe I should have went with the Sega CD game.
I doubt a few extra Batmobile levels and different music would have helped much. Look, maybe you can just compare the Sega CD and Genesis games.
What? Do a video or a series where I compare Sega Genesis games and their Sega CD counterparts? Who would watch that? If you two ladies are done talking this, take a look. We finished decorating.
Place looks good, guys.
Yeah, so clean.
Wait a minute, you didn't put up any decorations.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Not only did we put up a decoration, we put up the most important one. Mistletoe over the door.
And we got some extra mistletoe over here if you want to test it out and make sure it's good.
I think we're gonna pass.
Yeah. And where is everyone? I thought they'd be here by now. Who's even coming to this thing?
I don't know. Let me check. Huh.
What?
Looks like I goofed. We're not having the Christmas party today.
So when are we having it?
We're not. I never set up the event. I was actually looking at a time hop from a few years ago, and I got pretty confused. Kind of like Westworld.
Oh. So we're not having a party. Well, at least we didn't decorate the whole house. Well, that is one decoration.
And it would be a shame to let it go to waste.
Well, what do you think?
Why let it go to waste? Wow, this is delicious.
I know. Who would have thought mistletoe tasted so good?
And they said it was deadly in the movie. This is better than the one time I ate those Pop-Tart burritos. This is the best Christmas ever.
God bless us, everyone.
Hey, friggin' hey, happy holidays. Oh, friggin' oh, have a beer. Hey, friggin' hey.
Thanks for checking out our latest video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks to everyone who suggested Batman Returns. There were a lot of you. Keep those other suggestions coming. We will get to them. Also, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more console wars goodness. Later.
Maybe Batman and Robin. That had bat nips.
But not on Batgirl.
I know. What did they do?
But I mean, I got a copy where they digitally added them on. Classic.
Okay, we'll be honest.